Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, classic slash non-classic. This is episode number 470 and Doubleshot number 385. Two Star Wars trades. First up, it's Star Wars Poe Dameron, Volume 2, The Gathering Storm, collecting issues 8 through 13. Yep, and I want to check something here. Okay, yeah. The issues in here are actually the last issues that, now it's written by Charles Shaw, who's still the writer of this book, and the artwork is done by Phil Noto. Yes. The thing about these issues is that with issue 13, these issues are the last issues that Phil Noto actually drew on the series. Last issue he did the interiors for. Starting with issue 14, it was taken over by Angel Uzaktia, who also did issue 7. Yeah. Now, Phil Noto basically is still doing the cover work, but he's not doing the interiors anymore. No, he's not. This one basically is kind of the second story arc of the series. Second really major one anyways. It basically deals with Poe's continued feud with Trax, who's the main villain of the series, who actually I think was taken out in the most recent arc. Yeah, they finally killed him off, but consequences of this particular arc does affect the next arc of the series. And yes, 3PO is actually in this arc, and he travels with Poe just for this particular arc, and that's it. Also, I should point out though that the ship he has in the series was destroyed in The Force Awakens. I'm not kidding. The ship was destroyed. So this is before his ship was destroyed. I have no idea exactly at what point they're going to have this series jump into after the events of Force Awakens. Right now, it's still before Force Awakens. Its own self-contained story. We also get a chance to learn a little bit more about Thrax's backstory. Like, we see his perspective, see witnessing the Battle of Jakku. Well, it's after that anyways. And pretty much, about basically what he was doing after the events about Jakku. Basically, he became a criminal, and he tried to sort of bring his forces back together after, 20, 30 years of him not doing it. He puts on the armor again, and also with this particular story, his ship was destroyed. The Carry-On Spec, which was originally a ship that belonged to Grand Moff Wolf Tarkin. Yes, the guy who was in charge of the Death Star in New Hope and also appeared in Rogue One. Yeah. Drax somehow got his hands... I still don't know where the heck he got his hands on this ship. He somehow got this ship, and he had this ship for pretty much most of the series until it was destroyed with the Black Squadron. Yep. Also, basically, Poe is not exactly trusting his squadron for some reason because what happened in the previous arc. But they're perfectly fine in Force Awakens, so basically they get over that. 3PO just travels with him, and of course BB-8's in here as well, which is of course nice. This is good. Shaw does a great job with the series, and the series is right now roughly 21 issues in right now, and that's basically it. I give this book a 9 out of 10. This is actually pretty good. Alright, next up is a brand new Star Wars series. I believe started just last year, I believe it was. Yeah, I think it was last year this started. Let me take a look at this. I have to take a look at this. I could have sworn this was like last year. Let's see. I think this started just recently. Yeah, I believe it just recently this thing started. It basically came in as a replacement for the Darth Vader series. Yeah. This series is currently 13 issues in, so it started sometime last year. This is Dr. Aphra, Volume 1. Aphra. Basically, for name recognition wise, they did the same exact thing with the first trade that collected the first volume of Darth Vader. This is meant to replace Darth Vader, but Vader was brought back recently. Brand new title with Charles Shaw as the writer, and basically that series, unlike the previous volume, which is kind of taking place between New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, that one, the current one, takes place between Revenge of the Sith and New Hope. Basically 19 years up, basically plenty of story potential there. This basically follows the adventures of Dr. Aphra, her evil and what's on the cover? Yeah, that's her cast of characters. Karashi, I think its name is, the sort of like Black Chewbacca, Dark 3PO, and BB. Yeah, these evil versions of R2-D2 and C-3PO. And the writing is done by Karen Gillan, her creator, and artwork is done by Kev Walker. Yep, Kev Walker is the artist for this book, and he does pretty much all the issues in here. He also does the inking for issues 1 through 3, with Mark Dorita basically as the inker for issues 4 through 6. Now it was a backup story in issue 1, which is done. Karen Gillan did the writing for that one, and Salvador LaRocca does the artwork for that one. This is how here in this first page. This is the artwork you're expecting for this particular thing. The cover art is different than the interior. The cover art is done by Kamon Shirahima. Yeah, and with this one, you get a chance to meet Dr. Aphra's father. They don't really list his name, but yeah, let's just call him Mr. Aphra because, well, they don't really give his name in here at all. You just meet his father. Apparently, her doctorate basically was suspended because of something that she did back when she was much younger, like roughly about when she was like a teenager. We look at Dr. Aphra. She looks like a woman probably in her mid to late 20s. Basically, I'm not sure why this is, but I don't know if this is done on purpose. But she's drawn to look very similarly to Chloe Bennet, who plays Quake on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's a similar look. I mean, same hair color, same facial features, but I don't know. Maybe that's how the artist first drew when she first showed the pages of Darth Vader. Maybe they drew inspiration from that. I have no idea. But, and she basically goes to her father to investigate something that he's been searching for years. And they go to, of all places, Yavin 4. And the place is under Imperial occupation. Now, there's nobody living on Yavin 4 anymore. The rebels have basically abandoned their base. Yeah, it's an abandoned rebel base that was basically abandoned after the events of New Hope. And here's the thing: her father knew nothing would happen to them. He didn't know about. He knew about the Death Star. He never knew it was destroyed or the battle. Yeah, he never knew about that. And I'm like, seriously? You don't keep up with current events? I mean, Dr. Aphra, despite the fact being an archaeologist, she does keep up with current events. And you get a chance to meet the female commander, a very lovely woman. And when you finish this thing, it's implied that Dr. Aphra is a lesbian. Okay, fine. The fact that Gillian was revealed this basically at the end of this particular thing, I don't have a problem with that at all. It's fine. It's one of the very few depictions of a gay character in the pages in the Star Wars mythos. They did this also in a couple Star Wars novels. They did this also in Lords of Sith, where they had a lesbian in that one, and it was also a lesbian in Aftermath. Yes, so basically Dr. Aphra is one of 3 lesbian characters in the Star Wars mythos. Yeah, the one way to know the fact she's a lesbian is her father says, yeah, you have a bad taste in women. Yeah, it basically kind of confirms Dr. Aphra is in fact a lesbian. Which kind of begs the question, why in the world didn't she, you probably think, oh, she's lesbian, maybe she'll put the moves on Princess Leia? Probably not, because even she knows Princess Leia is straight. Yeah. They do find what they're looking for in the end. I won't exactly say how, but I gotta hand it to Karen Gillan. He does a really good job of writing this character in this series, and it's interesting that we have an original character who made it debut in the pages of a Marvel Star Wars book, who's not a character from the movies. Poe Dameron first appeared in Force Awakens, but this takes place before Force Awakens. This is an original Star Wars character, basically created in the comics, along with these other characters here. But these characters are from the Darth Vader comic book that my guess is that basically Karen Gillan, he must have loved this character so much that he gave her own spin-off book. Basically, he ended the Darth Vader book just so he could do this. And the book is done really well, though the end of the book kind of sets up, in a way, indirectly, the second crossover of the Star Wars comic books. What crossover is that? The Screaming Citadel, which is next, right after this. Excuse me. In the case of when they had the previous crossover, Vader Down, at least Star Wars and Darth Vader actually went through at least they actually waited like over a year. At least they waited 12 issues in for both the series to actually have a crossover. This one, they have a crossover with Star Wars roughly like barely 6 issues in. It's like after the first story gets concluded, we have a crossover. Yep, and Karen Gillan is the one doing. He actually wrote the one shot that started out the crossover, which who knows if they'll ever get their hands on that particular thing. I actually really enjoyed the Screaming Citadel of the crossover, and it's like one of the things ever done. Okay, but this is good. It's a great way to continue a character that you don't have to have. As far as Vader did return to the series, he gets there for like a couple issues, but it was nice the fact he brought him in. But as far as I know, this series has no sign of ending. It's just purely really good, and I'm sure for a fact that none of the Star Wars series have been canceled due to low sales. Look at a series like Kenan. That ended because, and this is what I've heard. The reason why that comic ended was because that's how much the writer was commissioned to do. He was commissioned originally to do 5 issues, but he decided to do an additional 7. This is actually, believe it or not, one of 4 ongoing series that are Star Wars ongoing comic books. There's this one, there's Star Wars comic book, Poe Dameron, and Darth Vader. 4 different comic books. 2 of whom are set in the same time period. Yeah, this is currently set in the same time period as Star Wars. I'm not really sure exactly at what point they're going to have Star Wars, where they jump ahead after the events of Empire Strikes Back, but who knows? There's probably still plenty of story to tell throughout the course of the 3-year jump. Though the series started like 1 year after the destruction of Death Star. But yeah, this is good. I also get this book a 9 out of 10. Oh, I almost forgot to show off what her father looks like. Yeah, he's kind of like, here's her father. This right here is her father. And here's the woman who actually, the Aphra referred to as cute later on, who actually returned in the recent issue of Dr. Aphra. Yeah, she just came back. Has been gone for quite a while. And is it just me, or is that this woman has one thing common with Dr. Aphra when she first showed up in Darth Vader? So us up in 3rd issue. Yeah, this is her. The woman who Dr. Aphra thinks is cute. Yep. What is her name? I know her name is Captain Tallvan. Yeah, Captain Tallvan. That is her name. She could be one probably early 30s, but who knows. But yeah. 9 out of 10. I had to show off that particular character, so people have a pretty good idea what I'm talking about, okay? So, that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for the next episode, which is going to be another Star Wars book and a regular Marvel book. I think it's going to be a Spider-Man book next, okay? But until then, I will see you there. Next episode will be episode 471 and Doubleshot 385, okay? Is 85. Well, this one's 84, so let's see. Hang on. No, actually, yeah, it is 85, yeah. So it will be 471 and 386, actually. Yeah, 386, okay? But until then, I will see you there. Bye.